How's it going, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the Unpopular Opinion podcast. Today we're going to go through our Euro 2020 predictions with the round of 16 due to start tomorrow. So we've done fresh predictions with the group stages now passed. I'm joined today with Cali G98 and Benji. Chaps, how we doing?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Looking forward to
Why is
Tuesday.
Ben muted?
Not muted. I'm just waiting.
Oh,
'cause
sorry.
I've got something to say. 3 weeks.
Are you confident of the Tuesday, Benji?
Yeah, I'm confident in my predictions, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm also confident
Mate, that
of my
was a month
predictions.
ago. Are you still dwelling on that?
Champions of Europe, mate. You did well in United, didn't you?
Nice one. First game of the Euros, chaps. Belgium versus Portugal. Cal, who you got?
I have got Belgium to beat Portugal.
I agree.
I've got Portugal, chaps.
I reckon.
I agree with Cal.
I reckon Belgium have
Got firepower.
Yeah, I think they've just got too much. Too much. And I think their system. I think they play a pretty similar system to Germany.
Portugal looked good against France, though, I think. Portugal looked very good.
Yeah, but
I know they struggled against Hungary and Germany.
Yeah, but when they played Germany
You
against
could
the
say the
five
same
back, they
about
got
any
torn a
of
new
them
one.
group of death.
They got torn an
I
absolute
think
new
because,
one.
like, in general, France and Germany have been quite poor, in my opinion. Like, Portugal did really well against France. Like, they were unlucky.
Battered by Germany.
Mm.
Give Romelu Lukaku the opportunity.
Yeah,
but look, give Romelu Lukaku the opportunity against that Portugal. I think Belgium will win. Score 3 or 4 goals.
But as they get into these crunch games, we saw it at the last Euros. They were dogging the group stage, and it got to the crunch games, and they've got so much experience.
Yeah, but they just scraped everything,
Ronaldo.
Yeah,
but they can do it again. They've got. Yeah, but do they? Because like you give Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva, Bruno, like if they turn up, like you give them a chance against that Belgian.
Bruno ain't even played, has he?
No, fellas, I just said if they turn up against that Belgian defence, they're going to tear it apart.
Thing is, you got Belgium, yeah. Hazard's been unbelievable, and that's not a Chelsea bias. Hazard's looked like his health of old. De Bruyne's come back and he's
don't play for you.
Which one? His brother or
both of them?
Forgan's been better than Eden, mate. That's been for 3 years now.
Yeah, no, but that's
De
a good
Bruyne
point.
looks unbelievable.
Yeah, De Bruyne looks
Romelu
nice.
Lukaku's playing like he's got a point to prove.
Agreed.
Defensively, they're
Putting himself on the market.
sound as anything. They're quite well balanced. I think Belgium have got it. I think they'll come unstuck against a team like Italy, but I think Belgium.
I agree, but the styles probably suit Belgium. So if they get into that free-flowing state, I think they'll take apart Portugal's defence. But I think it'll be the same because you saw against France, Portugal can organise themselves well. So if they limit Lukaku's presence and like don't give them that chances, I don't see where else goals come from apart from De Bruyne and Lukaku. So if they do what they did against France,
I think Elements could probably pop up with one.
You got Carrasco.
Yeah, but I don't think compared to the Portugal side, I think both of them have frailties defensively, but Belgium are relying really on De Bruyne and Lukaku. You can get a bit from if he plays Carrasco or Tielemans, but compared to Portugal, like they didn't even play Bruno the other way. He's not played so far.
Look at Portugal,
but they've still got through.
Yeah, but Portugal having like Diaz and that have still been so bad defensively. Like Diaz was an absolute rock for City, but for Portugal has been dog. Really.
Do you know what? Diaz has been poor since that night. That 29th of May, since Havertz pulled his pants down.
I thought you weren't going to mention it. But yeah, Belgium all day.
Yeah, I agree.
I genuinely think they beat them by at least 2.
Yeah, I see him scoring quite a few goals against them.
Hey, look, we'll see. It's an interesting matchup. I think it's going to be a really good game. But as you can see, I've got Portugal getting to the final, so I think they'll take apart Belgium. But let's go on to that next game. Italy, Austria. I think we're all pretty much agreed on this one, aren't we? I think Italy look really, really strong.
I don't think there's a more balanced team in the competition.
I agree.
They're so well set up, and the Mancini is, I think, the best manager in the competition.
I'm not on the bandwagon that everyone else is on yet though. With Italy, I'm waiting for a big game, and then if
I see them like I see
game.
Chelsea, I think they'll be so hard to beat. They're so
well.
so hard to beat.
I agree with that, but
and they've got
attacking
goals as well.
Have they though?
I think they have.
Against the top team.
Football would suit them.
Against the top team, I don't even think Immobile's. I don't think Immobile's that good against the top team.
But I think Insigne looks unbelievable.
He does look good, but how many goals has he scored for Italy?
Yeah, but it doesn't. He creates the opportunities for the players as well.
Yeah,
I think
they've got a chance. Don't get me wrong. I think they've got a chance, but I'm not on that. I can't hop on the bandwagon that everyone's saying that they are, because a lot of people, to be fair, are saying they are one of the favourites. So I'm not on that bandwagon yet. I'm waiting I'll wait for that fixture against Belgium, and then if they beat Belgium and look very good, then I think you struggle to look past them, really.
That's an interesting comparison you made, Ben, comparing them to Chelsea, because I'm thinking something similar. Like, I personally ain't jumping on the Chelsea bandwagon. That's for another video. But, like, I liken this Italy team to that, because I don't think they've got anyone that, like, you look at and you're thinking, like, absolute game changer, like, amazing team. But what you've got is lots of very good players. I don't think any of them are superstars, as they said.
Very,
but, like,
very
such a solid team. Yeah, and I think obviously I fancy them against anyone. But, like, I'm on Cal's side. I wouldn't go into any game thinking they're a favourite. Like,
I think one of the arguments for it is they have players to come in. Like, Verratti's hardly played. Looked ridiculous the other day. And I don't know who else they got to come in, but I'm pretty sure they've got a few like decent names to come in.
He played, and he looked good when he comes on.
So I think that could be one of the arguments for him, for sure.
Yeah. France, Switzerland, I think, again, we're all pretty much aligned. Cal, you were actually thinking of changing this one, weren't you?
Yeah, France, Hungary twisted me, like. But I think they'll have too much. And in the knockouts, I think they might turn it up a little bit. Because against Hungary, I wouldn't say they was great. Switzerland probably haven't got enough. That's probably it.
What do you think has gone wrong for France so far in the group stages?
I don't think they gel.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree. They've got so many.
Like they're trying to play as individuals.
Yeah, they've got so many like world class players who aren't a world class team. Probably the way I'd put it.
Again, I don't want to sound like a Chelsea bias, but I think put Giroud in that team. That you get so much more from the front three.
I don't think it's anything to do with the front six personally. I think their fullbacks kill them. But I think with the front three, like Benzema should complement Mbappe and Griezmann so well because he's so good on the ball, drops deep, he can play as a false nine, and he obviously gives that space to like Pogba or Rabiot if they play that midfield too. Obviously they've got Kante behind them.
Are you having Rabiot though?
Front six. That's what I mean. When you think of that front six, like who'd you put in instead of him? Like Tolisso played all right the other night, but they played him out on the right, I think, at one stage in the first half against Portugal, and he looked awful. But like he played all right, he just didn't look comfortable out there. But I don't know. I think I don't think they have enough going forward. Like
they got a chance.
Who'd you play at left back?
I think the type of fullbacks. Well, exactly. I think they tried it with Digne, didn't they? And then
they've got Digne or Teo Hernandez, haven't they?
I don't think just Teo Hernandez injured. I think that's.
Oh, he played in the first game, didn't he?
When you look at Lucas Hernandez and Pavard, like they're better centre backs in my opinion than fullbacks, and I think it shows in their style because they're not attacking out and out attacking wing backs. Like they don't bomb past Mbappe on the left or bomb past Griezmann on the right.
No one's bombing past
Mbappe. Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
I feel like Deschamps took some players on merit because of the World Cup, though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I don't think it's a case of. Like,
do you think you would though?
Worthy.
I think you would. If England won this Euros, I think you'd struggle to take out quite a few names for the World Cup, even if they didn't play well next year. Just because I suppose he's looking at they've performed in the tournament.
That selection in his mind, given how we performed at the last Euros, like that's why he wanted to take Trippier and co.
Yeah.
It's almost like probably thinks that we do have a good chance of winning and thinks those players deserve to win the trophy if we do get that far.
Yeah.
Then we'll get on to England shortly, but yeah. The final part, I think, a really big game, interesting one. We've all gone the same one for Spain-Croatia, which is interesting because I think it could be a really good matchup. So
I've gone Spain.
I've gone Spain.
Hey?
I've gone Spain.
But yeah, I agree with you.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked with your. Explain to me your Croatia decision.
I don't know. Spain just doesn't. I've watched Spain and I think even the 5-0, I don't think they're a good team. I think Croatia will just.
Croatia, are they a good team?
No, but I just think it could go either way. It's one of them games that I think whoever turns up on their day wins the game. But I feel like Croatia could pip them.
Who has that? I'll take that on board. I'll take like whoever plays better on the day. I just think Spain have a little bit more quality, which will win them the game. Personally,
I don't. They won 5-0, but I still don't see them. They don't have a match winner.
Yeah, I agree with you on
Croatia,
that. I do agree with you on that. But do Croatia?
I generally think Modric can change the game by himself. Even at his age, he changes the game. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable against Scotland.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think like once it gets to the crunch game, similar to what I was saying about Portugal, I just think they're going to have a little bit too much experience. And I think the thing about Spain at the minute is their midfield. Like, I don't think they're great defensively, and I don't think they're great. Obviously, don't have a goal scorer. And I think if Croatia win that midfield battle, which they very easily could, like Modric isn't showing signs of slowing down. If Kovacic has obviously got legs, I think if they can get control early doors in that fixture, yeah, I think they could do them.
But have they played that well this tournament though? They didn't play well against England.
Yeah.
They didn't even give us a game, really. Really. And then what did they draw against Czech Republic?
Drew against Czech Republic
and then beat Scotland, which
but in Scotland game they looked good.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it to be fair. England was on at the same time. I didn't watch it, but
I said to you at the beginning of this tournament, Palmer, that this Spain team I could see in the next 3 competitions come on leaps and bounds and become back to where they were in 2008.
Yeah, you did.
Sure.
To be
unbelievable young lot coming through.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I think once it gets to that game, I just think Croatia might have too much for them.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I'm still not convinced by Spain.
That'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be a great game. I think this game's going to be an absolute cracker, by the way. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm not having
Sweden versus Ukraine. Nah, mate. I tweeted on my account saying that Ukraine would be underdogs. Yeah. I've gone against it because I think Sweden will beat them, but the draw's not worked out kindly for them in that sense. But yeah,
Sweden topped their group.
Sweden look good.
Sweden topped their group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a decent side when you break it down. Obviously, Victor Lindelof's unreal. Kulusevski.
Where was Ukraine then? Did they finish second or third?
Third, must have done. Ukraine must have finished third because Austria and Holland went through from that group.
Yeah.
So you think that they could have ended up with Italy. So either way.
Again, I do think it's going to be tight.
Swedes doing quite well.
I agree with you, Ben. They look solid, don't they? Again, I think they just are.
The thing is, if they get through Ukraine, they've got to beat England or Germany.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I think quarters is max for them, but
if you're Sweden and you get to the quarters, they got to the quarters of the World Cup as well and lost to England. So if you get to back-to-back quarterfinals like that, you're a country like Sweden, you probably take that.
But like we discussed earlier, that is the game. If England do play in it, that is in Rome, and England don't play at Wembley. So
yeah,
could be a factor. Could be
an interesting one. I'm going to skip through the England-Germany game for now. Let's go to Wales-Denmark.
I've got Wales.
Interesting. Well, my underdog was Denmark. Obviously, first game, what happened to Ericsson? They weren't looking great, but they managed to sneak through in the end. I still fancy them. I think they looked good in most games they played. To be fair, Denmark.
Yeah,
I've not seen much of Wales.
Games they played.
Not seen much of Wales.
Let's be fair, that Finland game was. The statistics in that Finland game were interesting. Finland only had one shot.
But they bopped them in the first half.
20 plus. So.
They bopped them in the first half until obviously the incident.
Yeah.
Should have scored.
Yeah, I agree.
100%, 1 or 2, but.
I think Wales have something about them in these big games. Like it's why they did something at the Euros. They've got that spirit. Like
they've got 100%. They've got a character.
I have gone Denmark for the record. I do think Denmark will beat them as well. But I can see why Ben's gone Wales. I think it'll be a really good game.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I think Bale has changed games for Wales, and I think it will be a tight game.
There's Ramsey, to be fair.
Gareth Bale will make something happen, and I think they'll win the game 1-0.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I think it is pretty much 50-50 game. But yeah, I just take it to Denmark, really.
I think whoever goes through will obviously get bopped by Holland in the quarters. I think Holland are dead set, as we'll get to that in a minute. I think we've all got them beating the Czechs, haven't we? Yeah. I think Holland get through them.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be easy for them. I don't think they'll beat them by many. But
I'm not overly impressed with Holland, even though they've They got 9 points, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm more impressed by Holland than Italy, personally.
They scored plenty of goals as well, didn't they? Depay looks sharp.
Did they have a challenge?
No. They didn't have a hard
game. You say that, but France, Germany, and Portugal were meant to have one easy game, and that didn't turn out well for them. So, like, it doesn't really matter who you gets put in front of you, does it? They've still beaten everyone convincingly.
Yeah.
And they haven't played awful teams. Like, Ukraine and Austria, they're difficult fixtures still. You think...
Yeah. It's scary when you're up against...
Ukraine were 2-0 up against Ukraine and came back.
Yeah, it's scary when you're up against an informed Wijnaldum as well.
Yeah,
because what's he got? He got 3 goals.
Game, though, Holland Republic.
Has he scored 3 goals in this tournament already? No, Wijnaldum.
Yeah. Wijnaldum.
Oh yeah, Wijnaldum.
I'm telling me that's nuts.
Night,
and Liverpool let him leave.
Yeah. Memphis Depay as well is looking really good.
Yeah.
Frankie de Jong's been one of the players of the tournament for me personally.
Dumfries, mate. Dumfries nuts, mate.
Frankie de Jong's gone under the radar a little bit because obviously Wijnaldum's taken a bit of the midfield headlines, but if Wijnaldum had scored those goals, I think de Jong would have got a bit more of the recognition he deserves.
I think it's probably expected from de Jong.
England, Germany. Come on, let's just get to it. Ben, let's go to you first. Explain why Germany are going to beat England. Or why you think Germany are going to beat England.
I think England have got mistakes in them. And I think Germany will score an early goal. And I just can't see the character that England have. I don't think, as soon as England go behind, I think Germany will press on and I think they'll win the game comfortably.
What is your score prediction?
3-1 Germany.
It was 2-1 Germany an hour ago, so he's already changing his mind. 3-1. Carl, explain to me why you think England beat Germany.
I mean, it's probably a little bit of hope and a little bit of bias involved, but I think we'll match them. I think we'll match them in formation, and I think don't get me wrong, I think it'll be tight.
You think we'll go to 5 at the back?
Yeah. I think Southgate ain't got the bottle, mate. I think he'll go 5 at the back, and he'll match them because otherwise we'll get stretched. And then I think we've got quality. I think this is one of the first tournaments where we've got quality. Whether or not it comes to fruition, we'll see. But yeah, I just think we'll win 1 or 2.
Does it not look like all the England players are playing on a leash? None of them.
100%. The fullbacks are on a leash. They have to be.
Again, I'm going to liken it to Chelsea because I've watched the majority of Chelsea, but I liken this England team to Chelsea and Lampard. I don't see this England team with an identity.
No.
I can't tell you how they're going to play.
I agree with you on it, but I've just got the hope. I've got the hope and the belief.
Germans will turn up. They will be tactically set up better, and it will be a tactical battle in which Germany will win. Unfortunately.
I think you've got to look at their other games in their group, though. But in their other games in their group, they ain't played great.
Especially with it's being Lowe's last tournament. I think they'll turn up in the knockout stages. I think they could be someone that could go all the way. Germany.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I agree with you, but I think I've got a little bit of hope, or I hope it don't happen. And I think England have got enough if they play the way the fans want to see. But whether or not we'll see that, we'll find out on Tuesday, I guess.
I think for me, for one of the first times in a long time, I think it's more a case of which England turn up than which Germany. But that's one thing that it's the only way I think we lose that game is because obviously we do have a young squad. Like, I know the Germans aren't as strong as they have been in the past, but you never write off Germany, do you?
No.
And I think like they've still got experienced players, whereas we've obviously got.
It was 4 minutes away from going out of the tournament, though.
Yeah.
I agree.
We're 4 minutes away from playing Hungary as well, aren't we? Or are we 4 minutes away from Portugal? Whatever it is.
Yeah, I can't think. It changed so much. We could have played every single team that night. It was nuts.
Ben, do you think we play a back 5 or a back 4?
I think Southgate will stick to a back 4.
I think he'll stick to a back 4. I didn't think he'd have the bottle to play back 4 against Croatia, and he did. Then I thought he wouldn't have the bottle to play back 4 against Scotland, and he did. And then I thought
that it'll go back to. It'll drop Grealish. I think, in fact, no. He'll start Saka. Foden and Grealish will be dropped, and he'll go back to. I think Mount, even though he's trained for a day, I think he'll come back straight back into the team.
But apparently, to be fair, I did see today that he might have been training with the squad, but socially distanced. However, that can work. But,
Kane doesn't look half the player.
Not going to get into that just now, are we? We'll be here for hours.
I just don't know. I can't see England being that much of a threat to Germany. Unfortunately.
Do you think we've got more of a chance playing a back four or a back five?
Back five, we've got much more of a chance.
I think we match him. We've got more of a chance. And he has to let, because he'll play Carl. If we played five, he'd play Carl Walker at right centre half, which then surely leaves you to let the leash off Reece James.
Yeah.
Or but did hear an argument the other day on TalkSport. He's gonna play Trippier because we've been so bad at set pieces. Like genuinely, we've been so shit. I genuinely agree. I think he will play.
Should have taken Ward-Prowse. Sorry.
He should have took Ward-Prowse. we all know that, but yeah, I think he will play.
Back on corners.
I would put if he plays five at the back, I would genuinely put a bet on him playing Trippier at right wing back, just for the set pieces.
We'll have a few further thoughts shortly, because obviously we've got a couple of us predicting England to win, so we'll talk about how England can potentially win the Euros. Belgium, Italy, chaps. Ben, who have you got first of all?
I've gone with the Italians. I think they'll win the competition. I think they'll be, as I said, I think they'll be hard to beat, and I think they'll pip it on the counter attack. I think playing on the counter attack will suit Italy.
Cal, you've got Belgium?
Yeah, I've gone Belgium. I just think a few of the recent tournaments have got a distance, whereas Italy haven't really been in them. I think as a squad, they've probably got that little bit of experience to get that little bit further this year. Obviously,
Italy haven't lost in over 30 games, so although they might not have as much experience in big tournaments lately as Belgium have, do you not think that their current form and the experienced players that they do have, obviously if Chiellini comes back into the fray, Bonucci,
I struggle to take
Verratti fit, Immobile, it is an older squad in that sense.
Yeah, I struggle to take form into big games like this, really. Obviously, it's a knockout. I don't know where that game is, but I presume it's not a home advantage for him either. I just fancy Belgium. I just think Lukaku's got goals. I think he's got more goals in him than Immobile. I think De Bruyne could be the catalyst for him. I just think De Bruyne's, since he's come back from his GBH assault in the Champions League final, I think he's looked unbelievable. I think their five at the back will stretch Italy as well.
Yeah, it is a great combo. That
it'll be a great game.
Lukaku link, isn't it?
It'll be a great game.
Yeah. Charles, I've got Portugal versus Italy, and I've got Portugal going through. If it is Portugal versus Italy, Ben, how do you see that panning out?
Italy. A, because Portugal won't get there. And B, again, because I think Italy have got everything to
Italy go all the way. Cal, you're not convinced by either side, really. So do you think pips that one and gets to the semi-finals?
I'd be more convinced by it there. I think Portugal just could leak goals. That's the problem with Portugal. If they concede, they'll think they'll leak.
Yeah, why do we think that? Why are the Portugal leaking goals? Like they've got two of the best performing centre halves of the season, really. Pepe surprised everyone with his Champions League performances at his age. Obviously, Diaz, Player of the Year. I don't need to explain how good he's been. So what is it? Is midfield maybe? They've got decent holding midfielders. Danilo Pereira is obviously a good player. They played João Palhinha the other night, who's been linked with a few Premier League clubs. Decent holding midfielder. Renato Sanchez being fantastic. So, what do you think it is? Like,
I think it's
I'm convinced by Portugal personally.
I think it's a bit like France. I don't think they gel as well.
These are the European champions currently that we're talking about, though.
Yeah, but they fucking scraped the.
It's a heck
of a different squad, last time anyway.
A heck of a different squad to the.
No, so it don't matter if you scrape it or you do it convincingly. He lifts the
trophy. No, but like we can't say.
It's just the thing about tournament football. I know we'll get onto it lately, but it's one of the reasons I think England will do well, because performances don't matter across 7 games. The important thing is that you win 7 games of football. And that's why I like Portugal. Because you look at how they played against France, they've got that experience, and their manager clearly knows how to set them up to play in those games. Yeah, and even if they go 2 down...
Yeah, but how many penalties did Pinaldo score in that game?
Only 1, mate. Oh, no,
it's just a frequent thing, though, isn't it? Like...
Yeah, look, Well, we'll get on to that in a different podcast because I ain't getting into it now. Right, France, Croatia / France versus Spain. Cal, explain why you've got France, Spain first of all, and who wins it.
France, Spain, France beat them. I think like they would genuinely just shut them out. I don't think Spain have the quality.
I don't. If it gets to that, I don't see where Spain have an opportunity to create chances. To be honest,
no. I think
if they get a chance, who's putting it away?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, yeah, France have got too much quality for Spain at the minute, and also they've got a squad who's played together for that little bit longer, a little bit more experience. I think, yeah.
I think whatever game that turns out to be, it'll be a cracker. Ben, France, Croatia.
I think France will breeze it. I think it'll be one of them in that. I think it's quarter-final, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think France win it comfortably. Again, France too much quality. I think they'll Pogba and Kante are probably keep Pogba and Kante fit. I think France have got a hell of a chance of winning the competition.
I think that's the type of game that could.
It's just getting It's just getting the attacking players to be on the same wavelength. I think they'll be a force.
Yeah, it's a game that everyone will obviously be looking forward to because it's two big nations, both obviously World Cup finalists. But I think it's one that could turn out to be quite boring just because I think Croatia will have to try and shut France out. But I think France will know that if they shut Croatia out, they've got the individual brilliance where they'll nick a 1-0. Mbappe will do something.
They'll break them down eventually.
Or whatever. They'll break them down eventually. I think it'll be a really boring game. But France, I think, they'll have too much and they'll pip them to that. Over the other side, we've got Holland, Denmark for two of us. Ben, you've got Wales versus Holland. So how do you see that panning out?
I think that's where Wales will come up because I think the Dutch will have too much quality, a bit more experience, and I think they'll just. I think it'll be a good game. So I don't think Wales are going to be that team that sit back and.
No, there won't be a pushover.
I think they'll go at them, but I still think the Dutch will have too much quality.
Yeah, I think we all agree Dutch going straight through to the semis. They've got a nice run there, to be fair. I think whoever they get in the semis, obviously. I know we've got England to win it, but that's still a game that might suit them well tactically. So I think they've got. If you're a Dutch person right now, you're probably sat there thinking that the final looks really, really realistic because they'll obviously be confident if they play England or Germany, and they should get through Denmark or Wales, and then what will obviously likely be the Czechs. So that should be an all right one.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterfinals on the other side. Then you've got Germany, Sweden. I'm not going to ask you about that, mate. That's not going to happen. Cal, England, Sweden. We beat them in the World Cup quarters. Similar outcome.
Yeah. I think it'll be one or two. I think we're beaten by. They might scrape a goal.
Yeah.
But if we beat Germany at that point, I think.
You've got to be flying.
Yeah, I think you're flying. I do think you're flying.
Sweden are going to be a tough nut to crack, though, as they've shown.
Yeah. I mean, what did we break them down with last time? Set pieces?
Agreed. Lingard scored a header.
Or was it Dele Alli?
Can't remember who scored. Oh, Dele Alli scored a header and then Jesse Lingard scored as well.
Or did someone centre-half score? I can't remember. Something like that.
I thought Maguire scored against Colombia.
Talk about the Sweden game, mate. Harry Kane scored a penalty.
I reckon he did, Ben. I reckon Maguire might have scored.
Maguire scored.
Yeah, I reckon Maguire put us 1-0 up and then Dele Alli.
Where am I getting Jesse Lingard from? I saw he scored against Sweden.
Jesse Lingard scored against
Panama,
Haiti, whoever it was.
He scored against Panama, but I thought he got a couple in the group stage. I thought he got a couple in the tournament, but either way, we broke him down eventually. But another game that could be similar to the one I've just mentioned in Croatia, France. I think both will just try and shut someone out, and I think England will know if we can keep a clean sheet, someone will find a way to get to break them down.
Yeah, that'll be one of those games where we win by a pen or something.
Yeah.
Ask a question: If Harry Kane has a poor game against Germany, do you drop him?
If Harry Kane has a poor game against Germany, we're probably out, mate. To be fair.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't score, no.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that, chaps. We'll get to that. The semi-finals, as it should be, obviously a major tournament. We've all got 4 massive sides. Ben, yours is extremely different, so just walk us through it all, mate. How are Italy winning the tournament?
Right, Italy will beat France. Again, I keep saying it. Italy looks so well set up. They look so balanced, and Mancini knows what he's doing. I think Italy will look so hard to beat, and Italy won't be convincing.
Is Italy's
not cracked yet?
I think they'll win games.
Is Italy's midfield better than France's though?
Yeah.
Could that be the important battle? You think?
I think they work so well. It is the perfect threesome.
I've seen better.
No, but you know what I mean. Like Jorginho looks unbelievable playing with those two players, but you could have Locatelli and Verratti.
Yeah.
You could put who's
against who? Kante, Pogba, and Rabiot. Oh, that's a heck of a battle. It's a heck of a battle.
They play a 3-man in midfield, and they work. They've got so much energy. I've watched every one of Italy's games. They play with so much energy and so much intensity. I think they'll win every midfield battle they'll play. I think that is their key three. That will win them the tournament.
If your bracket is right, and that's how it goes, I think that's where Italy will come unstuck, just because France, I think if they click, and I know it's big if because they haven't yet, and you could say it about every team and every game, but I think if they get to a semi-final and click, they're the perfect side to beat that Italy side. Like if Italy are going to sit off and then try and play free-flowingly, but if they sit off and give Pogba and Griezmann and Mbappe too much time and space, they're going to get torn apart. And then equally, when they go forward, if they try and counter-attack, put the wing-backs forward, give Mbappe space in behind, we saw it against Germany, he's going to absolutely terrorise them. I just don't see how Italy break them down or stop the quality. I don't think they've got enough in the midfield, personally. I know it's a great midfield battle, but I still think Kante, Pogba, Rabiot is just too good for that. I don't think France are as good
defensively as people make out.
I don't think they're great defensively, but in the transition, they're phenomenal. And I know Italy as well, like you said, they play with energy.
Italy will play on the transition, and they will play counter-attacking football, and it will win them games. I'm confident of that. I think
if you go play counter-attacking football, you've got to not get countered, and like stopping that front side from countering
you've got so much experience. Like Italy are the perfect blend between experience.
France are the world champions. Yeah, France are the world champions. They've got more experience than anyone else in this tournament. In that sense, they've got European finalists, World Cup world champions, and you look at their players. They've got Varane's at the back, who's won 4 Champions League. Kante's just gone off the back of a Champions League win. Lloris has been to a final with Spurs somehow. Like they've got more experience than anyone else in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Italy on that argument. I don't think Italy have enough goals against a big team. I don't think they've got the quality
in the knockouts. Yeah,
but I'm going to link it back to Chelsea again. You said everybody said exactly the same thing. Chelsea versus Real Madrid, not a chance. Chelsea versus Man City, not a chance.
No, yeah.
We're not saying Italy have no. I can see how Italy win this tournament, but I'm saying I don't think they have enough to do it. I think, especially in tournament fixtures like this, you've got to have enough individual brilliance in every single game. So like you're not just relying on it against Austria or against Portugal or against France or against Belgium. Where you've got they've got to have it in every single game, because if they don't have it in one game, Belgium are going to have too much for them. France will have too much for them. I don't see where they keep that consistency to lift a trophy. Whereas France, I can see 100% how they smash Spain, how they smash Switzerland, how they could smash England, how they'll smash Belgium. But you're sat there with Italy saying, yeah, they're a good side. And I agree, they'll be difficult to break down, but I don't think they'll have enough across tournament. They've got 4 massive, massive games if they're going to do it.
Very true.
So, should we just go straight into how England win at chaps? So we all want to talk about England. So, me and Carl have them winning it. Ben, you've got them going out against Germany, obviously, on Tuesday night.
I want to put it out. I do want to put it out there. I do hope England win it, by the way. I'm not saying.
Are you sure, mate? Look at the shirt you're wearing and everything. Shambles, mate.
I want Jude Bellingham to play, mate.
And Sancho to get off the bench.
Hey, Sancho's a United player. I don't give a shit about that guy.
All right, so on to the question then. How England could win the Euros. In just one sentence, Ben, how do you think England could win it? What do they have to do in the next 4 games, if obviously how many it would be to win it? What do they have to do in those 4 games in a short sentence to win it?
Switch to 5 at the back.
Nice and simple. Cal?
Let the fullbacks off the leash.
By playing 5 at the back and having wing backs.
Yeah.
Either or, 4 or 5 at the back, I think. Just let them off the leash.
I think playing 4 at the back. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just if I had to define it in one small sense, I would just simply say be brave. I think in general, not just the fullbacks. I think we've not seen enough from
take risks.
Foden or Grealish. Yeah, 100%. I think especially if you're going with Rice and Phillips, which he clearly likes. Even if we go to 5 at the back, I think that midfield 2, he could put Mason Mount in it, but I still think he'd rather have in the front 3. So I think you're still going with Phillips and Mount. Whatever you do, it's a back 3 or back 4. You're going to have 4 solid players who are going to sit in the middle of the park and anchor everything. So whatever you do, you can just give everyone freedom. I think if we're brave against Germany, and then you can come out the blocks in the first 10, 15 minutes, show them you're not afraid. We did it against Croatia, and I know we died off a bit, but I think the reason we won that game was the first 15 minutes. Because if you come out and you dominate that early parts of the game, that self-belief it gives you for the rest of it. You know that if you have football's about phases, we know that. So inevitably, Germany are going to have a phase, and England, obviously, we're a young squad. We're going to have to find a way at some point to transition back into our phase. And the only way you're going to do that is with belief that you can beat them and that you can get on the front foot. So if we can come out the blocks in the first 10, 15 minutes, take control of the game, let the wing backs fly forward, it's at Wembley as well.
The thing is, though, we have genuinely done that in most of our. I'll say we've done that in 2 out of 3 of the games. But then we just
Scotland game was a bit end to end, wasn't it?
Yeah. But against Croatia, we started really well. Foden hit the post, and against Czech Republic, we hit the post in first 10 minutes. But we just take our foot off the gas, though. We take our foot off the gas, and it's just 1-0's all right, but it's so risky. Because, like Ben said earlier, if we go back,
or is it a player thing?
Yeah,
it's a Southgate
thing. I think it's player and Southgate.
If we go behind, interesting, so interesting. I genuinely don't know what I would do.
The plan B is my worry for England.
Yeah,
which is what I said. Why I think Germany will win. If Germany get an early goal, I don't think England will know what to do.
Yeah.
But do Germany get the early goal?
They could, though, couldn't they?
I think they do, because I think they do. Playing 4 at the back, I think Germany have got enough to.
How would you describe Southgate, though? Reactive or proactive as a manager?
Proactive.
I think he's proactive. You don't think he could react during a game.
I think he's proactive. I think he plays 4 at the back because he wants Kyle Walker will play. If he plays 4 at the back, Kyle Walker will play. Kyle Walker will play to protect the back, the centre back pairing.
Yeah.
But then you're losing his quality. Kyle Walker's plenty of quality going forward.
Yeah.
But he will be told, no, hang on, we've got a 50% Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Or you've got Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings shouldn't be in the England squad because I think he's shit.
Oh, do you not think he's had a good tournament, though?
No. He's had a good tournament, yeah, but he's got, against quality, I think he'll kick his way into bookings and red cards.
But to be fair, he does play against quality in the Prem. I know he plays for Villa, but he does play.
Yeah, but I think playing against clever players is the difference. I think if England got that far and playing against someone like Benzema, that's a different level to playing against whoever Dominic Calvert-Lewin or whatever.
Yeah, fair.
I don't think he knows how to be reactive, which is where I think we could come unstuck. But in answer to your question, is he proactive or reactive? The only reason I'd say he's proactive is because he isn't reactive, but I don't think he's proactive either. I think he sits down and thinks too much about the opposition. And I think he's going to think too much about Germany. When in reality,
that's why I think we'll play 5 at the back, though.
You can make a very strong case for this England team, obviously being better than the Germans. I think we've got much more quality. We were saying, I was saying to you earlier that someone from Germany said that if we're not going to play Sancho, give him a German passport.
Yeah.
Well, if we've got a player sitting he's not played a minute yet. We've got a player who's not good enough to play a minute that would walk into the German side. We don't need to be worrying too much, in my opinion, about what they're going to do or how they're going to play. I think we need to come up with a plan that says, fuck it, let's go out, take these in the first 20, 30 minutes, get 2 or 3 goals if we can. Bang, done. That's how proactive I think we have to be. I know it's easier said than done. You don't get those 2 or 3 goals, and then he has to be reactive. But if we go out and we can shake them early doors, because they can be shaken. They've got experience, yeah, but if they're young players like that, talented, quick, energy, if we can take them early doors, that'll be the way we win it, in my opinion. But we've got to get the early goal.
Perfect game for Sancho.
100%.
Knows the opposition, but I think he's got. don't know what it must be something behind the scenes that he's not playing football.
Yeah, I agree. There's something must have happened.
Do you think it's something to do with the Manchester United transfer saga?
No. I think it'll probably have. I reckon it'll be like an Hazard. It'll shit in training, but a magic on match days.
Yeah, I think that's what England have been lacking. Someone to drive at people. I think we saw a little
Saka
bit.
did it.
Yeah, I think we see a little bit of it with Saka, but Sancho is, as an attacker, another level. I think.
It's up there in world.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Saka's rubbish at attacking. I'm not saying that at all. But like the guy is an out and out attacker. Saka's not an out and out attacker, and that I think if he chooses Saka, that's where you'll see. If you see Saka on the team sheet on Tuesday. I think that's the first indication that he's a bit worried and like, one of those like he's being a bit cautious.
If we do play a 5-back and Saka plays left wing back, do you think he plays Luke Shaw as a left centre back, or do you think Harry Maguire comes into the fold and he plays Stones, Maguire, Mings?
No, he'll play Stones, Maguire, Walker, won't he?
Walker, Reece James at right wing back, Trippier at left wing back.
I think he'll play Trippier left wing back.
I think, to be honest, I thought Trippier had a blinder against Croatia. I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch.
Luke Shaw had to put some good balls in against, who was it? Czech Republic.
Luke Shaw plays
well against
lovely balls down the line.
Scotland, but yeah, he was awful against Scotland, I thought. But then again, just about everyone was. I think against Czech Republic, he was one of the bright players.
If 5 at the back, Chilwell's perfect for that left wing back role.
Yeah, I agree. Chilwell's got a goal.
I don't disagree, but
he won't play.
I don't disagree. I think, like Cal said, though, if we're going to play 5 at the back, I think it leans towards a more defensive display. It shouldn't, but I think it will.
Just because we've seen it, like he's not letting the wing backs off the leash.
But it's one reason why you might see Luke Shaw at left wing back, because if you tell him to stay back, that leaves you very solid. If you've got, you very easily could see like Kyle Walker, John Stones, and Luke Shaw as a back three, maybe.
That's why I genuinely think we need to play 5 at the back. Because they stretched Portugal, like they that's the difference between us and them, is the side to side. We're so fucking slow, man. Like genuinely, it's so painful to watch. We'll pass it back to the middle, they'll start shuffling, then we'll pass it back to where it came from, so I don't have to shuffle. We can just move it, man. We're so honestly, it's actually painful how slow we are sometimes.
I fell asleep in the second half of the Czech Republic game.
I don't blame you. It's so slow. So slow.
I think if you're going to play that slowly, you can't play Rice and Phillips. I think you have to play.
Mount has to be in that. Mount is a number 8. He's not a number 10.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to play that slowly, what you're effectively waiting for is for that gap to open up in the middle to play that ball through the lines and then penetrate. So if you're going to do that, you can't have 2 holding midfielders. You need to play one, and then ahead of him, you probably want Mason Mount and Phil Foden.
Even if it's Bellingham next to Phillips or Rice,
or Bellingham,
you need someone that's going to get the ball and first thought is let's go fucking forward.
But Hendo did look good.
So happy to play it to each other and fuck off back to the right back to the left back to defenders.
I think Hendo could do that. I think Hendo could do that. I liked Hendo in the Czech Republic. I think he was
4-3-3.
Yeah, I think he was Hendo was one of the players that actually looked forward in that game.
Do you think this is a bit of a... I know, obviously, both of you... I don't want to say Southgate out, because obviously we're all behind him for the tournament. But obviously, looking forward ahead, we all know after the tournament that Southgate is going to be questioned. Do you not think this is a bit of a lose-lose for him? Because whatever he does, we're in a position where, because of how the last 3 games have gone and how the last 3 months have gone with team selections, no matter what he does now, he's kind of shot himself in the foot. So unless if we win the tournament, he's going to be questioned.
I think the way that
I don't think he keeps his job, even if he doesn't win the tournament, he doesn't keep his job.
I think with the World Cup being so close, if he gets to the semis, he'll keep his job.
True. It's next year, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's literally next year because COVID and that. But yeah. But
I don't know who comes in to replace him though.
No, I ain't got fucking Scooby, man.
Because people like link Lampard to Lampard won't want to take international management this early.
No, because you could ruin yourself.
Because you have the same problems with Lampard as you do Southgate.
But our build up to the tournament was so strange. Do you know what I think? Like he chose his squad.
He played players in warm-up games, but they weren't playing in tournaments. They don't understand that. What the fuck's going through your head?
He named his squad and then played players out of the squad. It just did not make sense. And we also looked so shit. We looked so bad against Romania.
It's the reason why I don't watch England if it's not tournament football.
Yeah.
And that has been in the group stage. It's so shit to watch.
Yeah.
What do we think has been the problem behind Harry Kane's performances? He's had one shot on target.
It's the style of play.
It doesn't work because he drops deep at Tottenham and has players running in behind him, Son and all that. It doesn't work with Harry Kane. Harry Kane fucking pictured like coming up and holding midfield.
Yeah. He comes like centre half sometimes, mate.
He comes and sits and holds hands next to Jack Grealish.
Yeah, he takes the ball
he needs to
from
fullbacks.
He takes the ball from fullbacks. It's fucked. It's so fucked.
He's not. He tries to play as a number 10 or a false 9.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't play as an out and out 9, which is the problem.
This is why I'm pretty sure you boys laughed at me I'm pretty sure you boys laughed at me when I said this pre-tournament, but I said if we play 5 at the back, it may not be justified based on performances over the last year and how fitness has panned out. But if we play back 5 and Harry Kane starts, his best partner is Marcus Rashford. And I know it's not fair that Phil Foden probably won't start.
What has Rashford done since he's came on, though?
No, I agree. But to be honest, I agree with Sterling starting. And because Sterling works well with Kane. If they're going to play, I'd start Sterling up front with him.
Yeah, I think that's what he might do.
Because Sterling's happy to run in behind.
I think
I think Sterling's been our best player so far.
Yeah, well, he's fucking only goal scorer, isn't he?
I think his performance has been overdone again. He's been dark. Like he does the basics wrong in my opinion.
He's the only one absolutely like.
I'm not disputing that. You know my thoughts on him. I think he gets a lot of unwanted stick, and I do think he's a very good player, obviously, but he does the basics wrong, and sometimes he tries to overcomplicate things. And I don't know why.
But he doesn't get help on his side. He's played with Trippier on the left, who was on an absolute freaking leash when we played against Croatia. Like, he was told not to get forward. And then he's got Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw is such an annoying fullback because he's arguably got it all. He can cross. He's got the pace. Like, I just think he's got like a safety on him. Like he'll see the pass, he can make the pass, but he won't always play it, and that kills Luke Shaw, in my opinion. And that will also kill Sterling on that side because he won't have Luke Shaw getting around him all the time, and he's in that 1-on-1, and he's not a 1-on-1 player. I don't think Sterling.
Yeah. With Luke Shaw, obviously, he's had issues at United over the last 6 or 7 years. Obviously, the Mourinho stuff killed his confidence. So, do you think that's a big factor in why he does that? Because I don't think it's a case of he doesn't want to make the pass.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I think it's an instructional thing from Southgate, but I also think
he does do it at United as well.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of a confidence thing, but he can do it. We see that he can do it. But yeah, I think it's a safety sort of a doubt. Don't want to take the risk because of the stick that he'll get. And don't get me wrong, it's understandable, but it's frustrating because I personally think he's got it. We just don't see it often enough.
Yeah. So obviously you both want to go to a back 5. What do you think he will do?
I think he'll stick to 4 at back.
I think he'll go 5.
Which I think is why they'll lose.
I think he'll watch the Portugal-Germany game and go 5 because how stretched they got was ridiculous.
Ultimately, that was why they lost the game. So Portugal had gone to a back 5 and prevented the Gosens crosses and the Kimmich crosses. They would have.
Gosens was in the back post every single time. They just didn't have anyone to get hold of him. Don't get me wrong. If you play Saka at right winger, I would understand him playing 4, but only because of his defensive work is the only reason I'd play a 4 with Saka on the right. But if you play someone else on the right, Sancho, I don't think he'll do the defensive work to track Gosens.
All right. So to finish off, then, let's go with what you boys would do. So give us your final 11 and how you think you would approach the game, what your team talk would be. Cal, you go first.
I think you keep the same keeper. I think Pickford's actually been solid. Personally, I do.
Yeah, I think Pickford.
Should we go position by position rather than me naming? Sure. I'll go Pickford.
We'll agree on Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, I think he's been solid and genuinely was solid in the World Cup as well. I did doubt it coming into the tournament, but I think he's been solid. The only thing that worries me about him is his distribution.
Interesting.
But
Distribution's been alright so far. No, yeah, I think his distribution's good. He worries me when he gets it wrong because he either picks out an absolute fucking pass or he's picked out freaking German striker.
It's
yeah,
when
exactly.
it's when the ball gets passed back to him. It scares me because he can hold it on to it for too long and shit like that. Like on the ball, maybe not his distribution.
When
the
ball comes back to him at pace as well, the way he kicks the ball, he always seems to kick it like literally under the ball, and it scares me because on the TV it looks like he's literally kicked it above him, and I'm thinking, what the fuck's about to happen here? And the way he kicks it, whenever there's pace put on the ball back to him, I just think he's gonna slice it and do a Rob Green.
We need to agree on a formation though.
It will go 5 at the backs. I think that we all agree that's the way we have to play. If we play a 4-back, the only way you win with a 4 at the back for me is if you play a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1 out of possession, and you can have extremely disciplined wingers, which means you're going to have to play Bukayo Saka. And as much as you hate him, probably the most disciplined winger you're getting after that is maybe Sterling or, in my opinion, Rashford.
Yeah, probably is Rashford.
Yeah, so 5-2-3, yeah. I think we have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll write that.
We're all going Pickford. We're right wing back. I personally, I'm going to go for Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I Ben's going to go Reece James. Go on, put your Chelsea boy in. Fucking hell, mate.
I think Reece has got so much quality going forward in right wing back.
I'd go Andreas Christensen in this fucking team.
By the way, Andreas Christensen's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Fucking hell.
Mate, absolute banger.
He's better than Ruben Diaz, by the way.
Are you actually going Reece James though?
Reece James, yeah, for me.
No. I'll go Reece James, but Southgate will play Trippier.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd go Reece James.
What do you think Reece James gives you over Kieran Trippier? Why would you choose him?
Going forward, I think he can beat a man. I think he's got the delivery. I think he's probably maybe because we see more of him. I think he's better
along the lines of what you said earlier, though. If it comes in this type of game,
that's why Southgate will play. That's why Southgate will play.
But if you've got Mason Mount back, I think Mason Mount can play. Reece James starts at right wing back and Mason's in.
I think we've seen Reece James had some actually really good performances for England as well.
Yeah,
not when he played last for England, but like before that, I think he had some good performances.
Just very quickly, because this is something that may impact the decision making of this team. In a tournament like this, given all the games are relatively close together, and we have to think about how English football has been over the last 12 months and the impact that it's had on players, do you have one eye on the quarterfinals? I'm saying that because for me, if you do, you can't. Yeah, in that case, I don't. I think you have to play Mason Mount.
Not with the draw the way it is, anyway. I don't think you will.
I was just saying, if you have one eye on the quarterfinals, I think there's a reason not to play Mason Mount because if you have one eye on the
quarterfinals, you'll lose the game.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just asking.
Fair question.
Some of the bigger nations may have. If you're a Germany or a France,
if you're Italy, playing
we have that depth. So can we have that one eye on the course?
Not in the positions that we're going to talk about. Maybe as the front three, you can. Your midfield and your defence, you cannot.
When was the last time England beat top team in a tournament?
Well, we should have beat Germany in 2006 when Lampard scored an absolute bloody world.
That's the funny thing about the 2018 World Cup, though, isn't it? Because we did well, obviously, getting to the semis, and it was a fantastic summer. We played 3 good teams. We lost to Belgium twice and we lost to Croatia.
And then we got knocked out by Iceland in the Euros before that. Who did we get knocked out in the World Cup before that?
We got knocked out in the group stage, didn't we?
Did we?
Got knocked out in the group stage. Lost to Costa Rica, Uruguay, and.
I was going to say Italy. Was it Italy?
Yeah, it was because Pirlo, innit?
No, that was 2012 Euros. 2014 World Cup.
Oh, when did Sterling score but not score against Italy? Was that the Euros or was it a World Cup?
Yeah.
That was Euros against Italy.
Either way, it's been a while since we played a top team.
Can I just put out there, the Belgium team we lost to as well didn't feature Lukaku, De Bruyne, Hazard, Vertonghen, and Alderweireld.
No.
Yeah, Batshuayi freaking booted the ball in against the post onto his own head in that game, and we still fucking lost.
Adnan Januzaj scored the fucking winner in the group stage.
Yeah, that was a good goal.
Anyway, back to it. You're back 3. It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's dead.
Right centre half.
I think it's
Kyle Walker.
Right centre half, I'll go Kyle Walker. I think Southgate will play Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
For the safety of his pace, and also he's played there before.
I think he's
got
a
the
very
trust.
good defender.
Yeah. That's why I go.
Does the pace of the German front three worry you though?
Yeah.
For me,
I think Werner will start for Germany because Sané was poor against Hungary.
Yeah, you see, I didn't see him, but
I think Werner will cause problems.
I think you could be looking at Muller playing centre forward with Havertz and Gnabry over sides, and then the pace doesn't worry me. I'm more worried about their intricacy and how they play with in and around the box.
Yeah, I think they'll play inwards. I think their players will get on the ball and drive in, and then it'll be up to
space for the wing backs.
It'll be up
to
our midfield.
Scares me.
Goes scares me, mate.
Again, I know you don't pick teams on form in tournaments, but on form you obviously go John Stone, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Tyrone Mings. Do you bring Harry Maguire back in?
He'll play Maguire. He'll play Maguire.
Harry Maguire has to.
But your argument for Mings is he's left-footed. But
Southgate
won't care.
Is he probably
Southgate won't care.
I think
if he's going to play like that, you could. I know it's meant to be what we would do, but that's why I think you'll. I think
you put both
play
arguments.
Kyle Walker at wing back. I think he'll play Kyle Walker right wing back. Play John Stones, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings.
I think that if he's played like that, he's been too negative. Too negative.
I think you allow Kyle Walker to drive. Which way does he play? Do you think you put Stones in the middle or Maguire in the middle?
I think Stones.
Yeah, and then Maguire to drive in as well. Because they've both got the quality. Even Stones has got the quality.
Yeah. So we'll go Walker, Stones, Maguire.
Yeah, I'd leave Maguire next to. I think he'll play Shaw.
You don't think he'll play Maguire or Mings?
Me? I think he'll play Maguire. I think he'll play Maguire left centre half.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, sorry, you think Luke Shaw will play left wing back?
Yeah, next to Shaw. That's why he'll play.
I think Luke Shaw will play that.
Yeah.
Oh, so at least we're all agreed on the back five. Give or take.
I think personally, if fit and had played, I'd play Chilwell. I think Chilwell is a better left wing back than Luke Shaw, but the COVID situation,
I don't think he will. Mason Mount is no. I think Trippier and James will depend on Mason Mount's availability.
We'll get onto it, but for me, the midfield two has to be in this game.
Phillips for me.
Mount and Phillips. No, Phillips and Rice.
I think he'll play Phillips.
Has to be.
I think he will, but I think Mount.
What would be the logic in not playing both of them? Because if you're going to go to a back five, the sole concept has to be to limit their spaces in between.
My logic would be to play. It's a tough one between Rice and Phillips. I'd go Rice because of his presence, and I'd go Mason Mount because of his work rate. He can defend and he can be that player.
I think he's a mature enough player to do that role.
Yeah.
I think he's good enough. He's an intelligent.
It's just
player.
It would be such a risk for Southgate to take, but I think he'll play Rice and Phillips. But I'd play Rice and Mount.
I agree. Do you know what? I think Jude Bellingham deserves a shout because I think Jude Bellingham's looked absolutely brilliant when he played.
He won't play it for experience. He won't play it because of experience. Who's Germany's midfield?
I think it's difficult to drop Calvin Phillips. Well, it's going to be Kroos Gundogan.
Kroos Gundogan.
Because they've just been playing Kroos and Gundogan.
See, I think that backs up mine and Ben's argument to play Mount because Gundogan, I'd say, is arguably similar to Mount. Like he's good both ways. I think Mount's got the ability to go both ways.
To do it as well.
Yeah, agreed. And then I don't think if Mount plays in that role, you don't play him the whole game. Depending on the score, you bring on Phillips, or if you're chasing, you bring on Bellingham.
So you're both going Rice
or Hendo. Yeah. I'd play Hendo.
I'll go Phillips and Mount.
I'd happily go with Hendo.
Yeah, Rice and Mount. Yeah, I agree with Rice and Mount.
I'll explain why in a minute, but I'm going to go Rice and Phillips.
I think that's what we'll do.
Explain why in a moment.
Cameron was a front three.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the reason I will go Rice and Phillips is because I would play two strikers. I would probably play Kane and Sterling together, like as a front two, and play Mount in behind. So then, out of possession, Mount can match them. Because if they play just Gundogan and Kroos, and we have Rice, Phillips, and Mount, we shouldn't have
dropping into a transition.
I think Goretzka will start. I think Gundogan again. Watching the Germany game, Gundogan had a very poor game, and Jogi Löw was very quick to pull him off at 50th minute. I think it was.
So I think what you might even see is Rice actually just play in front of, like behind him, and have Calvin Phillips still playing the advanced role he's been playing, but with Mason Mount. So they'll both press, and then you've still got that security of Rice behind them.
I think that's a shout. I don't think. I think he'll play wingers.
Yeah, so do I. I agree.
Yeah, so
but that's a good shout because then we can drop into a 3, which I think gives us something. Because let's be fair, Germany's like Kroos is a fucking like he's a Rolls Royce player. Like they can just tick the ball around. We'll probably need to drop into a 3 in midfield.
If we do play from a back 4, who would be your front 4?
We played a back 4.
Out of curiosity, well, you say you think he's going to play wingers. So if you think that's another alternative, who would be your front 4? Because it's going to be Rice and Mount, Rice and Phillips. We don't need to worry about that. Who's front 4?
Based on availability, if Mount's available, Saka, Mount, and Sterling, and then Kane. I think he'll be very safe and he'll play Saka.
In an ideal world,
I know, but that's what I think he'll do.
In an ideal world, I'd go Sterling, Foden, and Sancho, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, is it what we want to do?
Nah. It's a bit of both. Like, what would you do? What do you think Southgate's
if it was my choice, Mount would be part of the midfield too.
I'd play Foden
and I'd
as
have Sancho, Grealish, Sterling, and Kane.
You think Grealish is a better 10 than Foden?
Yes, I think Grealish will make such a big difference. But I don't think I wouldn't play it personally. But that's how
I think he goes Sterling on the left, Mount as a 10, Foden on the right with Kane up top. But I personally would just fucking go all guns blazing, as I've said. I'd go Sancho right, Grealish left, Foden through the middle, bang Kane up top. But actually, what I probably would do, it's a possibility, is play Mount next to Rice or Phillips.
100%.
And then put Foden leave Foden centrally, and you can't not play Mount. I don't think. Like, so underestimated how good he is. He does everything so well.
Thinking about that, I think not starting Mount could be quite clever.
Could it? But I don't think he could change the game.
I disagree. I think
He could.
Bringing him on with his energy and the intensity he plays with, I think the German midfielders look over to make some fucking out.
Yeah, I agree.
Now we're
you could bring him on in a few positions as well.
Yeah, you could play him on the wing. You could play him as number 10. You could play him in number 8.
I think he says fuck it then and drops Rice. Just goes with Phillips and Mount. Just says fucking outrun him, boys.
I don't know.
You could get.
It's hard to predict if he's going to play Mount because we don't really know what's going on with this COVID shit.
Behind the scenes.
But in an ideal world, Mount will play.
Yeah.
If he plays Mount, he's got to play Chilwell in a back 5, surely.
I think Chilwell's a different scenario. I don't think Chilwell's dead set.
I think Chilwell's not played, so he won't play him.
I don't.
Because of the COVID thing as well, like he's not been able to train properly, hasn't played. Like it just don't add up for him to play.
Yeah,
that'll be the problem.
It'll be very interesting. It's gonna be a good game.
You keeping Kane up front?
Yeah, 100%. I don't. Yeah, let's talk about that very quickly before we go. If we drop Harry Kane if he has a bad game against Germany, because it is an interesting one, like you said. Like, is it him or is it the way that we play? It is a combination of both, I think. Like, not to state the obvious, but
playing a back 5 would also suit Kane.
Yeah, arguably we've not created anything for him. Arguably, and like you have to look at it, we haven't created much for him at all.
No.
But he does have the ability to create stuff for himself. His touch has been pretty dog. Like the ball comes into him, it's not sticking. It's tough. I'd keep playing him because he's world class. Yeah, he's world class. If he gets a chance, you wouldn't bet your house on it, but you'd bet a lot of money on scoring if it's a clear cut chance. But yeah, I'd keep it. I don't think Calvert. I think he should have brought Calvert-Lewin on against Czech Republic. He didn't for some reason. So yeah, I think he plays Kane no matter what.
Yeah, I think Ben touched on it earlier about how he plays at Spurs when he's so much differently. Like Spurs in possession have that weird formation where because Reguilon's so attacking, Son can almost go and play with Harry Kane. So even when he comes deep, you still have that option that you've got a central striker. There was times he was coming deep and like you say, his touch wasn't sticking. But when he did against Croatia, he turned the midfield. And he looks up, and the only thing he's got is players who want the ball to feet. Phil Foden wants it to feet. Even though Sterling's got pace, he wants the ball to feet. And it was like there was no one actually going beyond him. Whereas at Spurs, like you say, he picks up the ball, Son's gone,
bang, yeah.
Lucas Moura's gone, yeah, and which is why
that comes with a harmony. That comes with playing with each other week in, week out, which is.
But it could be a reason. He could look at that and think it's a reason. Ultimately, our best chance of winning the tournament is probably to get the best out of Harry Kane. Yeah. So for that very reason, do you think he looks at it and goes, let's play Raheem Sterling and Marcus Rashford then? Because if Kane picks up the ball and them two run in behind, I know I said Sterling obviously prefers it to feet, but he's more likely to go in behind than Phil Foden or Jack Grealish. Do you think he just goes with them out wide and then plays a midfield three of Mount, Bryce, Phillips? So he's got that energy, got that solidity, but then you can bring Harry Kane into the game and you've got 2 goal scorers beyond them. That could be a good way to go. I think we've just cracked it. I've cracked it. There we go, boys.
He's just won the fucking tournament for us.
I agree with the Rashford. I can see Rashford.
That is how England win Euro 2020. I mean, it could work.
They won't, but yeah, that's fair.
I can't believe you don't. Do you still believe?
Me?
Yeah.
No, not a chance. We've already said why. Southgate will be too safe. They'll go 1-0 down against Germany and it'll be it. That's it.
3 lines, mate. 3 lines.
No, I'm not telling you I don't want England to win it. I want England to win it. But I don't have faith in the way England play and in the manager.
Yeah, the managers.
There's no plan B. And I think if it goes to shit, as I've said all tournament, concede a goal, I don't know what England will do.
Yeah,
I can't see a character there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. I agree. Interesting debate. Yeah. Right, we can wrap it up there, chaps. As we mentioned in the intro, we've got loads of different topics and stuff to discuss. Just ignore Ben. So any suggestions on topics you want to hear us talk about or anything, drop in the comments. Of course, let us know your
Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, we've got loads coming up, and on Wednesday, of course, we'll have a review of how the England-Germany game goes. If England win, if Germany win, I can't promise I'll be present, boys.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. I told you
let us know your predictions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Peace.